So I moved from Houston, Texas to Cologne, Germany last December, and of course one of the first things I did when I moved here was go shopping. And not just clothes shopping, but also grocery and a lot of furniture shopping. And immediately noticed distinct differences between shoppers in Texas and parts of the United States compared to shoppers here in Cologne. So to start on a positive note, one of the big things that I really like here is that the price you see on the item is what you're going to pay. In the US, I had to grow up calculating in my head the percentage of tax that would be on this item. Here in Germany, I've already gotten so used to it that it's going to be kind of a culture shock when I go back to the US that I can just look at the price and know that that's what I'm going to pay. So one thing that has kind of bothered me shopping here, and it's kind of just a general attitude thing I've noticed among Germans here. Maybe it's just Germans in Cologne and the surrounding area, maybe it's Germans as a whole, but there's a complete lack of saying excuse me whenever you're trying to maneuver your way through other shoppers or grab something on a shelf. For example, recently went grocery shopping and I witnessed one man trying to grab a specific cheese off of a cheese shelf, but there was someone in front of him and they weren't moving. The man proceeded to then kind of stand there awkwardly and try to reach around and kind of like see if there was a way he could get in, instead of just simply saying, oh, excuse me, and asking the person to kind of step out of the way. Obviously they would say it in German, but I'm just, anyway. And so they proceeded to just wait there awkwardly until the person moved instead of just saying, excuse me. And you'll see that happen a lot. I will be minding my own business, walking through a store and everything, and I just kind of slightly turn somewhere else and someone fits themselves in between myself and maybe like a table display or something. Instead of telling me excuse me and asking if I could step out of the way so that they could come through. It happens so often. And it pisses me off. Like, why are you just gonna stand there awkwardly when you could just simply say, excuse me? And it can also seriously be rude too when they maybe bump into you or accidentally push you out of the way trying to fit through you in this small space, or you and other people. They bump into you or hit you with their bag or something and they don't say anything at all. They don't say a sorry, they don't say excuse me. I don't know if this is just a cultural thing here, but it needs to stop because I am so damn close to clocking one of these bitches. Another pro, which may be a con for some people, especially Germans here who I've talked to about this, no one really asks you if you need help in a store. The sales assistants will generally keep to themselves and only approach you or help you if you ask them specifically for help. I really love this. I hate walking into a store in the US and having 2 or 3 people follow me around the store asking you, can I help you with anything? Can I help you find anything? Is there anything you're looking for? But here in Germany, no one's going to bother you about that. Generally not going to bother you about it. Of course, if you go into more expensive stores and everything like that, and you start looking at like, I don't know, a Burberry trench coat, someone's gonna come up to you and ask you like, can I help you with that? Because they don't want you running off with their damn coat. But other than that, I haven't experienced it and I love it. But I would say a con to that is sometimes when I have asked for help, they've seemed bothered by the fact that I was asking. I guess because it's such an unusual thing, but more often than not, they've been pretty helpful. But I don't know, I generally like to shop by myself and be left alone. I'm a very indecisive person. I don't like to have someone constantly following me around because I'm like in my head thinking, do I really need this thing, or could I find it cheaper elsewhere? Just constantly in my head. So being left alone is ideal for me. One thing that I am still really getting used to living here is the fact that bags, as far as paper bags or plastic bags and things like that you use, especially for groceries, cost extra. For example, at let's say H&M, you buy a lot of clothes, they'll ask you if you want to pay 10 cents extra to have a plastic bag, whereas at H&M's in the US and other stores like it, they just automatically give you a plastic bag. There's no question about it. I would say it's most frustrating at grocery stores to have to remember to bring reusable bags with you. You can buy bags there, they have them there, but they're a little bit more expensive. They can range, I think, from 10 to 50 cents depending on what size of bag you want to buy, but you generally have to remember to bring your own bag. Another really nice thing about shopping here are how sizes are listed. I would say shopping for jeans and things like that in the US is such a pain in the ass because we have sizes like 2 to 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They go up like that, whereas I feel like more stores here use inseam measurements, much like men's pants. So I can generally go into a store knowing my measurements, looking for a pair of pants or a skirt or something in that size, and it's generally going to fit because it's completely going by measurements. And so that's been such a relief. I had a lot of anxiety about buying my first pair of pants in Europe. One, because you hear that the sizes generally run smaller, and it's so hard to read the measurements and stuff because it's so different from what we know in the US with just basic sizes and things like that. But just some quick measurements, and I bought a pair of pants from Topshop, and they're like one of the most comfortable pair of pants I've ever owned because I was able to search by my exact measurements of my waist and my leg length. Who knew? Why isn't that something that the US adopts? Can we stop using these arbitrary sizes that don't even carry on from store to store? I don't know. And another pro to this is that stores like Mango and Zara are much cheaper in the EU. I don't shop here anymore. I did when I was younger, but Hollister is pretty popular among the youth here in Germany, and they do have a couple Hollister stores here in Cologne, and I went in there and everything was even more overpriced than it is in the US. But I prefer that because nicer stores like Mango and Zara are much cheaper here because they're European brands, which I didn't even know. I didn't know that. I think Zara is an Italian brand, and so because, you know, it's part of the EU, it's much cheaper here. And especially Mango. I recently bought this blue shirt dress, and I bought it for 50 euros here in Germany, and then when I looked up how much it was listed for in the US, it was, I think, $85, which if you do the conversion rates and everything, 50 euros comes out to maybe like 60 something dollars, so it was at least a $20 jump. And I always used to like Mango's clothes a lot, but it was always too expensive. But now I have a coat and a dress, and I'm also eyeing other things for the winter and fall that I would like to fill my wardrobe with because they're nice items and they're much cheaper. And I would say my biggest problem with shopping in Germany, and I think this is just because I'm from Texas and I'm used to having my space and everything being bigger, people will get really close to you while you're shopping. I don't mean to generalize, but I'm gonna generalize, but this is quite often Turkish women, especially in big stores like Primark or H&M or something, and especially near sale times. They will just reach across in front of you. They will scooch up right next to you. If you're looking at something on like a rack, they're gonna get right next to you and you're gonna be touching hands. They get so close. Actually, I'm gonna go back and say it's either really young people or really older people. The really young people are generally kind of rude. I've had so many teenagers kind of pushing me out of the way or bumping into me with their huge purses or running over my feet with their carts because they have these pull cart things at Primark, or just generally acting like I'm not there and reaching over. And it's the same with older people too. Just a general disregard for anyone else, as if their shopping is the most important and they just can't possibly wait for me to move out of the way or tell me excuse me, which goes back to my first problem. They don't say excuse me. They will just push you out of the way or wait awkwardly. It's like, come on, can we meet in middle ground here? If you are planning to visit the EU or Germany or Cologne, please, I don't know, keep this in mind. If you're going to be shopping, if any of these types of things would maybe bother you or be a hindrance to you or something, but just know that you're gonna find some really cool stuff here. And I personally really enjoy shopping here, and I think you will too.